In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create this drum and bass loop you're hearing in the background. Now this sound relies on the arpeggiator, so we need to have that running. And it also relies on the fact that when the arpeggiator is on, it cycles through the individual oscillators. Now right now it doesn't seem like that's happening, but if I change the octave on each of these 4 oscillators and play that one single note, you will hear the octave change because it's cycling through each of the 4 oscillators. Now this is a default setting, but you can change it in the global settings and turn it off. But for this patch, we need to have it on. In the mixer, let's bring the level down on everything except oscillator 1. So when I play a note here, we just hear that one note and silence for 3 steps. I'm going to switch this to a triangle shape, so it's a lot more mellow. Alright, next I'm going to modulate the pitch of this oscillator with this filter envelope over here. I will also have to scale the output of this envelope, so I'm going to first plug its output to the input on this attenuator here, and then I'll take the output of the attenuator and plug it into the pitch input on oscillator 1. Now for the envelope shape, I'm going to bring the sustain all the way down, no attack, no release, and just a little bit of decay. I'll increase the depth here with the attenuation dial. And now that triangle tone is starting to sound like a kick drum. I'm going to add a little bit of release to get rid of those clicks and pops for those muted voices. Alright, cool. Now if I bring in the second oscillator on the mixer here, we hear the second oscillator, but we also hear the pitch modulation. Now I don't want that second oscillator to have pitch modulation. So I'm just going to plug in a cable into the pitch input on oscillator 2 and not plug that to anything else. So this way we're breaking that normal connection of the pitch input on oscillator 1. I'll change the tone of the second oscillator to a square wave. And now you can hear the second oscillator does not have any pitch modulation. Now for the third step, I want to hear a snare sound. We need a noise source for that. But remember, the next sound we're going to hear is oscillator 3 because we're cycling through the individual oscillators. So let's take the noise out from the modulation section and plug that to the input on oscillator 3. So with this, we've replaced the third oscillator with that noise source. We don't hear it yet because the level is down on the mixer for oscillator 3. So let's bring it up. Alright, so we're hearing noise, but it doesn't sound like a snare. We need to filter it a bit, so I'll bring the cutoff down. Let's make use of the normal envelope modulation, so I'll increase this dial here. And now that very tight envelope is modulating the filter cutoff as well. And that makes that noise source sound a bit more like a snare. Now for the last step, let's bring up oscillator 4, which is just going to be a tone. It does not have any pitch modulation. We can sync it to oscillator 3, though oscillator 3 is not being heard right now. So that's pretty much it. But if you want a bass tone, we need to set the octave on oscillator 4 as well as 2 to the lowest. I'll change up the tone here a bit. And that's pretty much the drum and bass loop. I hope you found that helpful, and please stay tuned for more.